whether Killie were genuine title challengers and if Rangers were over their midweek exit from Europe. Match commentator Archie MacPherson.
The last time they came to Ibrox, Kilmarnock drew the biggest crowd of the season and had the temerity to score a goal in stoppage time, thus effectively ending Rangers' pursuit of the holy grail of 10 in a row, and I doubt that has slipped the minds of the vast majority today. And this Rangers side will want to roar into action after the whimper of last week against Dunfermline, fielding two changes in the side which played in Parma. Henrik Kanchelskis and Stefan Givas back in the side, and so also in George Elsbergs, despite apparently seeming a trifle miffed over the prospective Neil McCann transfer. Now, he scored 13 goals, although 7 of them penalties. He can be very effective, he can also be glaringly ineffective, which I suppose is how the coach himself sums him up. Killie built the confidence in having lost only one of their last away matches and having one of the best seasons in years. One solid reason for that, Ian Durrant, back at Ibrox for the first time in new colours. So why did Rangers let him go in the first place, since he's been outstanding for Killie? Big advocate's answer, Barry Ferguson. In this bird's last encounter of a rugby park, the referee booked 6 and sent one off. John Robotham there will be hoping for something a little more festive today. I think Dick Advocat has discovered, particularly in the past week, that his new club are judged by a different set of criteria than others. Even though in the space of 6 months he's transformed this club from the technical and tactical shambles that it was fast becoming in this environment, adulation can turn to hostility and a pinhead and the blink of an eye. That's the old firm ethos for you, like it or lump it. Back there by Van Bronckhorst. I suspect we'll see a lot of him today. The battle of the midfield, and that's where Kilmarnock have been particularly strong. Trying to judge that longer one to Givas. He took that down very well, Givas. Just touched away. That's the man, the Frenchman, was calling, saying he needing a little more games. Yes, Kanchelskis, beautiful ball in there to Van Bronckhorst. Now, normally, the Dutchman's first touch is impeccable. Certainly wasn't there. Amoroso giving it away. This could be danger. Alberts came in. He got away with it. A little bit hasty in the ball forward. Neatly picked up by Vareille, whose pace is outstanding. That's a good tackle by Amoroso. And I think a very late tackle. Van Bronckhorst takes it quickly. Wants it back. Well, Wallace, I think maybe about a yard offside, but Rangers already looking very sharp in their forward momentum. What a great job he's done, Bobby Williamson, with limited resources. And Bronckhorst just beyond Durrant there. Lovely little ball inside. Well, Givas is especially good at that, laying it off. I've seen him doing that for so many other clubs. Watch it as he touches it back there. The man trying to give support, Barry Ferguson, but again, I think his finish lacked conviction. Touched on there by Ali Mitchell. Nicely inside by Wright, and now knocking the ball together for the first time in the game, Kilmarnock. Although that's a bad pass. Oh, and it's gone right between the two of them. Great chance for Vareille, and a great save. Well, that was the simplest of balls for the two defenders to pick up. It really was. Turning safety into calamity, and the goalkeeper got done, although I don't really think Vareille hit that again with any great conviction. One or two of these Kilmarnock players today looking slightly nervous. I really think, although the goalkeeper might take some credit for the way he came quickly out, I think Vareille was rather overawed by that particular situation he got himself into. Durrant, now Mitchell. Reilly coming back at them very quickly indeed. Ferguson gets away with it. Given support by Alberts, looking away across towards Givas. Yes, Givas with it. Oh, that's a beautiful strike, but it's offside. it so cleanly and well. That is a typical Guibarch strike. Renowned in France for the way he could finish like this. There was a deflection there, and then off the head of Van Bronckhorst and cleanly put away, but offside. Kanchelskis, who missed that game in midweek, looks in the mood today. He certainly wants the ball. He's been imploring his mates to put the ball in front of him. Newman just got away with that. Good interception though. And again, another outstanding player has been Ray Montgomery in the centre of this defence. Kanchelskis. Well, I think his first touch rather let him down again there, but at least he gets a corner kick out of that. And as I said, Kanchelskis looks up for this game today. And it's the near post and straight towards Gordon Marshall, who I suspect was rather surprised that suddenly the ball ended up in his arms there. He got down to it very quickly. Alberts trying to lift that over his opponents. Rangers players wouldn't carry on there. There's Amoruso. Barry Ferguson, Porini, missing out though, Kanchelskis. That's towards the far post to Wallace, he's done it! Rob Wallace scores his 15th goal of the season, a delightful move by Rangers. They had a little warm-up prior to that, but that Guibarch disallowed goal. And in reverse, this time coming from right to left. The bargain buy for Rangers of this season and had for many another season comes up there, knocks it into the ground, but the sheer bounce of that ball deceiving Gordon Marshall, and Rangers are 1 up. Good ball competition there as Martin Baker tried to come down the left-hand side. Kanchelskis fighting his way through, can't get it though. Porini gives support. Now Van Bronckhorst. That's away to the left, and Alberts cut off there by MacPherson as Alberts locked in the background. Well, that's a free kick. Van Bronckhorst is going to be booked for that. Now, Van Bronckhorst hasn't a very good disciplinary record. He's already had 7 yellow cards in the season so far. Just a little bit intemperate. I think outside of that, that's it. His only flaw technically. He's a very sound player, typical Dutch player, but he does have that flaw. Well, during a game I've seen shoulders being put back into place from dislocations. That was the tackle there, and total mistiming, and there's the bad fall. And here's the Sear shoulder. Off the top of Van Bronckhorst's head. And again, to Alberts. Using that left foot of his. Porini given plenty space. Still wanting to go forward. Losing out there, Ferguson. He sees Alberts. Now Van Bronckhorst. Rangers spraying the ball about. Ferguson. Alberts touching it in there. Well away though as the ball came in. Kevin McGowne has his eyes riveted on this, and he had to. Dangerous ball curling away, and in came McGowne. Ferguson again. Weighted that pass beautifully. Kanchelskis. Porini, there's Guibarch, and he was offside though. Way in that far side, the flag goes up as soon as Porini chipped this across here. You can see even from that angle he was offside, and that early fluency is gone from Rangers now. That was a characteristic of their performance last week by all accounts. Here's Kanchelskis. Now Vidmar. Albert's coming forward. Good run by Albert's. Guiboche puts it down. Ferguson with a shot, just away. Well, I've noticed about Barry Ferguson, he does get into very good positions outside the box. What is now requiring from him is that lethal finish. That again just deserting him, although the defender coming out obviously slightly wrong-footed him. McGowne, Holt, Mitchell, there's MacPherson. And Broncos picking this up. That's a very good ball indeed to Wallace. Away he goes. Brilliant run by Wallace. Guiboche is just inside. And it's touched in. I think the deflection. Guiboche tried to get away from his marker. Wallace realised that. And then as he parted with it, that little touch there by Gus MacPherson, who's got a good pair of legs in him. And Broncos, the taker of all these corner kicks. Swinging away from goal, Amarusa got a touch. Albert choosing his right foot. And that's another corner kick. Had it fallen to his other side, that would have burst the net. Sometimes he has to do something with that leg that he uses simply for standing on. Touch there by Van Broncos. That was a dangerous looking one. Ferguson just got rid of it. Good understanding there with Wallace. There he is again. Kanchelskis, Panini racing inside. That's the cut across. Touch back there. Once again McGowne. Right there in the middle of the penalty area. He's been superb in the air today. Henry. A lot of balls being plied out there to the Russian. This time the left foot easily dealt with, though. A little bit obvious that. Alberts. Killie have got everybody behind the ball now. 5 minutes to have time. Here's Guiboche. Almost picked up by Kanchelskis and away. Goal Killie though. In Durrant. Albert's in a very good position here. Vidmar's on the outside. Albert's with the shot. Well, I think he decided right at the death there that he would go for it himself. Vidmar on the left-hand side of him, just inside him there, Wallace, and then he went for it himself. I don't really think he hit that with his full weight, though. And there goes the halftime whistle, 1 goal in it, and that's about as even as it's been if you discount the opening 15 minutes where Rangers almost entirely dominated, and then Kamara coming back into it without really bothering Yemi. We had that superb strike, of course, by Guiboche, which was discounted by the referee for offside, and then coming on the left-hand side for the ball floated across them. Although Rod Wallace hit it into the ground, it did go into the net. There was that bust by Vareille after the two Rangers players had left the through ball to each other, but apart from that, Kamara not really bothered this Rangers defence as the home team go off 1 goal up. Rangers certainly have that 1 goal advantage, but there are other factors in this game which may influence the outcome. It hasn't to be forgotten that Rangers played that hectic and harrowing game at Italy in midweek. Later on in the game that may take its effect as Perini came in support there of Kanchelskis. And of course, when you take all the games together, Rangers are playing the 31st match of the season as opposed to Kilmarnock's 24th in the latter stages of the game. That may tell very much on the legs. Floated in, Guiboche did get a little touch to that. I think he may well have been backing into his opponent, but the referee points for a goal kick. Hasn't been all that successful in the air until this moment there. That might have surprised Gordon Marshall just a little. Guiboche did very well there to touch it back now, just beyond Wallace. Perini. Kanchelskis taking the two defenders with him. There it goes, right across towards Albert. Gibosh allowing that to go right across the other side of the penalty area. Good work by Kinchosas again. He's done that so often in the game. Tried to swerve that away from goal, and he does, and it's so near. And I think there might have been a deflection again from the head of Amoroso onto a defender. That's another corner kick. Yes, off the back there of Holt. Certainly have the height there, Rangers. That's very near the goalkeeper. Down to Alberts. Back now to Van Bronckhorst. A little bit strong that. Gibosh tried to put it down. Everybody planted in that penalty area at the moment. Kanchelskis. Neatly touched away. Gibosh gets it back, and then Wright. Knocked down by Amoroso. Pressure really on Kilmarnock at the moment. Free kick. And that was pace that brought that free kick about. Paul Wright absolutely deceived by that sudden little burst forward by the Russian. Way to the far side again, and three players missing that altogether. And that was a case, I think, of indecision. Nobody would really make the final move to it. Gibosh, that's a better ball to Wallace. Perini gives support. Kanchelskis going the right-hand side. Floating that over beautifully. There's Albertson! Almost got to Gibosh now. Great run by Albertson that time. He's hardly been in the game this far. And suddenly emerging on the left-hand side there. Good work by Gordon Marshall, I have to say. Taken away from Kanchelskis again. Now Perini, that's a free kick. Well, they're running out of the count of free kicks now. They're coming in full spate. And here comes Ian Ferguson. He has the muscle and the strength, and also he showed quite clearly the intelligence this season to be a more than adequate replacement for Barry Ferguson, his namesake. Ian Durrant with a free kick. It's a tempting one and away by Vidmar. Well, full marks to Vidmar there, because that had eluded the central of that Rangers defence. He read the danger very well coming from the left. Ian Durrant, old mates, they know each other very well, and although the Rangers management didn't like it there, he was out very quickly. Fergie's been on the field, what, 45 seconds? And he's made his mark. Well, I said at the start of this half that the efforts in midweek and the fact that Rangers have played many more games than Kilmarnock might be telling. I think it is at this stage. Kilmarnock have had much more of the ball in the second part of the game. There's Wallace going through, and the goalkeeper reads it well. Suddenly Kilmarnock had pushed forward, left themselves exposed at the back, and there is a decided element of tiredness about some of the Rangers players. But here's Wallace going again. Here's Kanchelskis. He's got a bit of freedom. And in it goes, there's Ferguson, brilliantly saved. Wonderful effort by the substitute. He read it well, coming for the cross, but I think he drove it in a little bit too straight. Marshall didn't have to move all that much, but nevertheless instinctively shoving out his leg. Rangers' best effort of the second half. Here's Perini. Gave that to beautiful play by Ferguson. As I said, he's played so intelligently for Rangers. Well, over the years he has, but certainly showed some marvellous touches this season. There's Alberts. And he certainly was trying it out here. They really haven't had a clean-shotted goal in this game, and Yemi, well, it took the tourist route eventually, and he was glad of that. Here's Amoroso, taking no chances this time, playing the longer one forward. And again it's falling to Kilmarnock players. But Broncos coming back. And in play to the outside, Vidmar. Seemed to take his eye right off the ball. He got away with it though. That's a tempting ball and Yemi's coming for it. Perini. Tremendous ending to this game. And in it goes. Jury. Corner kick. There we are, 3 minutes. Red Broncos, a lot of curling out, and Wallace gets his head in. Well, that's surprising. The wee fellow, with so many other players turning around him, just happened to be in that position, uncovered. Couldn't get hold of it properly, though. As the final whistle goes, the man has scored the only goal of the game. As we look back in the game, Kilmarnock had a lot of the ball, didn't trouble the Rangers goalkeeper all that much for that terrible faux pas by the Rangers defence, which allowed Vareille to go through, but of course he didn't hit the ball all that well with save. And Wallace, of course, notching the ball with that elusive quality that he has, getting into the space, hitting it into the ground, but eventually the ball going into the back of the net. And then two tremendous efforts by Ian Ferguson in the second half, coming on and showing his worth for Rangers, and perhaps posing the question, why don't you play me much earlier in the game? Rangers certainly at the top of the Premier Division, but narrowly so, winning by 1-0.
European matches normally it costs points. Unfortunately for us, we play the home game, otherwise it will be very difficult. Take a lot of energy out of you in an away game against Parma, not only physical but also mentally. And then again on Saturday today in a very important game for the first place. Yeah, okay, you're a football player and you have to do it, but still, they are all human beings.
Hopefully we'll show everybody that we're not a bad team on their day, and I don't think that was their day today. There was quite a lot of players played below the standard that they've set this season, unfortunately. There was about 3 or 4 I could name, but I'll be speaking to later on in the day. And it's disappointing for them. Nobody goes out to try and play badly, and couldn't fault anybody for effort.
We see Rangers strengthening their team. Neil McCann's coming in next week. Can you go and strengthen, Bobby?
I'm not getting £2 million to bring in the players of that calibre, but I think there is £5 available to bring somebody in. But I've got a good squad of players there. I've got belief in them, and I think we could muster it from that. But if necessary, yeah, I would be able to get players in.
Yeah, I think he's got more than a fiver he's having his on there. Stuart McKimmie and Jim Traynor with me in the studio. Stuart, I'll come to you in a moment. Jim, you were at the game yesterday and I tripped over you in the gantry. What did you think of Rangers' performance overall?
I think they did well enough. They weren't really pushed with Kilmarnock, unfortunately, as Bobby Williamson said himself. I think Kilmarnock didn't really do anything in the first half. It was more or less played in their half. They made a game of it in the second half, but it was more determination than any style of panache. They didn't look like scoring a goal, Kilmarnock, so Rangers they deserved to win, but they didn't. They were playing within themselves.
They had a lot of possession, Stuart, Kilmarnock, particularly in the second half, but the scoring threat just wasn't there.
Well, that seems to be part of their strength, the fact that they have got a lot of players who can actually go up and create and score goals, and it wasn't like them. They're normally on the attack, but they were on their heels a lot in that game, and I think that's due to the fact that Rangers had the bulk of the play and it hemmed them in.
They had a great chance early on, Jim. Jerome Vareille was through. It was a mistake in the Rangers' defence initially, but you think maybe he could have done better?
It's a real blunder. You see here Van Bronckhorst and Ambrosio getting mixed up, but Vareille's through. Just no confidence whatsoever. He makes it very easy for the goalkeeper who goes down early, as you can see to his right. That's a great opportunity, and it should have been a goal that set Kilmarnock off, but he missed it. He went off with that shoulder problem, and they did nothing thereafter.
We hear tonight, Stuart, that if he does need an operation, Jerome Vareille could be out for 6 weeks, so that could take him right through the winter break. They would miss him.
Oh, certainly would. He's got great pace, and normally he's a good finisher. I mean, I think that was a real bad miss for him. The keeper was down early, and there's no excuse. You don't get many chances at Ibrox, and if you do get one, you've got to take it.
Yeah, well, let's look at one that a Rangers player did take. It was Stefan Guivarch, but Jim, I think the linesman had his flag up fairly quickly. Not for him being offside, though.
Now it's Rod Wallace, you can see here, just in the D. It's a great, superb finish. It's very unfortunate for him because that's a great goal. He kept his eye on it all the way, but you could see clearly. You can see Rod Wallace here, it's clearly offside. And even again, when the ball's touched on, it's clearly offside.
He's clearly offside, Stuart, but is he interfering with play? Is that fair?
Well, it's the old thing. Some people would say, well, Kilmarnock obviously would have argued the point, but I mean, it's a disappointment for Gavache because it was a great finish, and it's one of these ones that's the referee either gives
You're
it
just saying that because you're a defender, though.
well, I would have claimed for it.
He didn't do too much and he went off later on. I mean, how impressed have you been with him, Jim, Stefan Gavache?
He does some nice things. You can see he's a very clever player, and really he could say, well, I've got a World Cup winner's medal, so therefore I shouldn't be questioned. But I think the jury's most definitely still out in Gavache. He seems to me a very lazy player.
But Rod Wallace, he is doing it for them, Stuart. How do you fancy coming up against him?
Well, I don't think I've got the legs for him now, but no, I think he's been a snip of the season. A free transfer, he's doing the job for Rangers. He scored 18 goals this season. What more can you ask for?
And in the second half, Jim, we said that Kilmarnock didn't really have much threat up front, but Rangers certainly did. And Gordon Marshall pulled off a string of great saves.
He did. This is a great cross to the far post there, and George Albert slides in. That was a lovely save from Marshall. But I think, though, you can see Albert's as well. He's stretching here, and he didn't get enough power behind. He's still strong enough, though. Marshall did well to knock that away, but Kanchelskis, he was a bit more impressive. And you see Marshall again, that's Ian Ferguson. I don't think he quite connected the way he'd want to, but it's still a difficult shot to take. Just sticks out a leg, an instinctive save, but they all count.
Ian Ferguson, what a revelation he's been this season, Stuart.
Well, he has a chance. He certainly is. Well, actually, that's the point. The fact is he didn't get many opportunities, but he's one of a dying breed, a Scottish player in the Rangers side, and I think he gave a good account of himself on the day.
And it was going to become even harder for him to get a starting place, Jim. They're bringing in Neil McCann. Alberts is supposedly in the huff because he thinks he's going to get dropped.
Well, it was, but I think that Advocaat's seeing the merits of Ian Ferguson. That he is a player in midfield who'll win the ball for you, and I don't think Rangers have got too many of them if you take him away. Barry Ferguson's not that. He's a playmaker, and I think it's good that Barry Ferguson's getting spelled. He looked a bit more lively yesterday, but he certainly needs a rest. Ian Ferguson, Charlie Miller even can come in.
Yeah, and Ian, if you're listening, I know you wind me up about green shirts, but I think you're having a fantastic season.